This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 30th day of May in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. With no indication of a date for the resumption of talks between the Ministry of Education and the Guyana Teachers Union, the president of the GTU, Dr. Mark Light, today indicated to news source that the union is prepared to compromise and begin negotiation on an agreement that would cover the years 2022 to 2025. The GTU has been pressing for its outstanding 2019 to 2023 proposal to be examined and negotiated first before moving on to this year. The Education Ministry, however, wants to bypass the outstanding years and focus on negotiations with the union from 2024 onwards. Speaking to news source this afternoon from Berbice, the GTU president said the union is willing to give up more than 2 years from its original proposal, and he believes it is now time for the Ministry of Education and the government to show that they are serious and also offer 2 years for negotiation, and that would match the 2 years that the union would have remaining from its original proposal.
We are saying if the union is ready to compromise on some of those back years, the government has got to be prepared to compromise from its position. All we're hearing is that the union must compromise and not the other side. And it's unfair to the workers of this country to be asked through their union to compromise 5 years. 5 years when there's no compromise on the other side. I would say this now. If the government is prepared to take 2 years, 2022, 2023, and we go with 2024, 2025, we could have a 4-year agreement ASAP if the government is prepared to do that. We are prepared to give up some of the years under the proposal we submitted. Is the government prepared to go back and compromise rather than hold its position to say 2024 and onwards and no more? That is the position we have said. 2022, 2023, give us those years, and you take 2024, 2025. That is halfway, more than halfway on our part. Matter of fact, we will be giving up 3 years. Prepare to do that. That is the end to which we are prepared to go to make this happen. But we are not getting that kind of commitment from the other side.
The strike by teachers has been ongoing since February, except for a brief pause when there was a court hearing on matters raised by the union. Since the resumption of the strike action 3 weeks ago, more than 50% of teachers have been staying away from their classrooms. As part of its negotiations for terms of resumption, the GTU is requesting that teachers be paid an across-the-board 20% as a safe net. The Education Ministry has dismissed that request, describing it as an unreasonable demand. But the GTU president said teachers need some guarantee moving forward with the talks between the two sides.
We believe that the union will have to get some sort of a guarantee, assurance. Other than that, we will discuss and we will talk that the ministry means business. We've heard what the Honorable Minister has said, but we would like to see that the government comes with a position through the Ministry of Education to say, look, you guys are asking for an interim payout, X amount you're asking for, we're prepared to do. Why? As a means of showing you that we are serious about these talks.
And the GTU president also dismissed claims of negotiations taking place in duress.
And nobody's holding a gun over anybody's head. It is not negotiations in duress. We are talking in those meetings about terms of resumption. If the Ministry of Education is willing to agree to our terms of resumption, our teachers will be back in the classroom as early as Monday. We have said this repeatedly, and we are serious about what we are saying. We understand there is learning loss, but the ministry and the government has got to take responsibility. 50 days should never have been achieved through a strike. This strike should have ended a long time ago. And the government with the capacity to end it is not making the right move.
The Ministry of Education has noted that the strike has been having a big impact on learning loss, forcing the Education Ministry to cancel end-of-year examinations in all public primary and secondary schools. With many parents expressing their frustration all across social media over the situation, the GTU president said parents need to be speaking up much more.
We have appealed to the parents whose children are affected to raise their voices. Nobody's prepared to raise their voice. It has always been a call for the teachers to compromise, a call for the teachers to give in. Yes, there is massive learning loss. In 50 days, the ministry is prepared to give up the assessments, end of the academic year assessment, which determines the next level that a child will go, the next school that the child will go, the next stream that a child may go. Give up all of that for holding on their ground. I would say to parents, it is time that our parents let the government understand, the Ministry of Education understand what is at stake for their children.
And on the issue of the decision in the court case, which was won by the GTU, and the belief of the education minister that that decision may not be applicable to the current strike action, the GTU president said there is one strike that is continuing and not different strike actions. He reminded that the key position in that ruling made reference to the lack of collective bargaining, adding that collective bargaining has still not taken place. The Guyana Teachers Union maintains that it is prepared to resume talks with the Education Ministry and is even willing to make compromises, but the ministry must come to the table in good faith. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Chance of a lifetime with Lucosade Energize Your Drive promotion. Enter to win a fully loaded Toyota CHR or a ton of cash. $500,000 and $250,000 respectively. Just purchase 2 or more Lucosade 360 milliliter at participating outlets. Write your contact details on the back of the receipt and place them in the marked boxes nationwide. It's that simple. And you're on your way to Energize Your Drive with Lucosade. This promotion runs April 12th to June 7th, 2024. Terms and conditions apply.
2 day and night facilities will be constructed in Regions 2 and 4 to provide a safe space for the children of working parents. Monies will also be spent to rehabilitate and improve the facilities at the Sophia Care Center and Mahaika Children's Home. This $287 million investment is part of the 2024 national budget, which is supported by revenues earned from oil production.
Now let's tell you that road traffic between Georgetown and Lethem has been severely affected after a large section of the Kurupukari to Lethem road collapsed and washed away yesterday just after heavy rainfall. In a statement last evening, the Public Works Ministry announced that it has since dispatched emergency restoration teams and material to the affected area to begin works. The section of the key roadway collapsed just after 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon as a truck attempted to cross an eroded section of the roadway within the Iwakurama concession. Within hours, the entire truck was swallowed under the water.
This is where the old bridge been, the channel for the normal water. That's where the water caught a truck there at the bottom there. Yeah. A truck there at the bottom there. What's a truck? Truck there with everything down there. You barely seen the tip of the truck there. This is where the old bridge been, and they put the new bridge down there where the water can't run. And the old bridge where the water just run, what will happen? Remember? See what the truck there down there. They get truck under the water down there.
The Public Works Ministry has since indicated that the contractor responsible for the maintenance of the area, KP Thomas, was not on site at the time, and engineers from the ministry have since alerted all contractors to monitor areas where they have active work sites. With a section of the road washed away, the Public Works Ministry said the situation will affect all traffic traversing between Georgetown and Anai and Latem. The affected area is currently inaccessible to all traffic, and all drivers and passengers traveling along the corridor are being told to expect long delays. The ministry has also put out an advisory for traffic crossing the Pirara Bridge via the Timber Bypass since the water level has risen significantly within the past 2 days, covering the approach road and the bridge. Light traffic is being requested to exercise extreme caution if attempting to cross that bypass, but the crossing of heavy equipment is not recommended at this time. Emergency teams have also been mobilized to address that situation, the Public Works Ministry said. Opposition political activist and online talk show host Kadaki Amsterdam was taken to court this morning to face a cybercrime charge related to statements that were allegedly made by a caller on his online talk show. In court this morning, the cybercrime charge was read to the accused, and after entering a not guilty plea to the charge of using a computer system to encourage or incite persons to commit a criminal offense against the President of Guyana in contravention of the Cybercrime Act, the presiding magistrate Faith McGusty granted Amsterdam bail in the sum of $200,000. The prosecutor had objected to the granting of bail for the offense, but Amsterdam's attorney Nigel Hughes reminded the court that the offense is a bailable one. The attorney also told reporters outside the courthouse that Amsterdam, who was in police custody since Tuesday, was taken to court without his legal representation being informed and notified. Mr. Hughes said that was done by the police, although there were repeated efforts to get information from the police about the time and date for the appearance. He said his client was able to make contact with him after the magistrate inquired whether he had legal representation. The attorney also explained the nature of the charge.
He's facing one charge of incitement to commit violence against the president. The particulars of that charge are, and this is provided by the police prosecutor, Mr. Amanda Moore, that somebody called into Mr. Amsterdam's program and said in that call-in program that there are 4 people in the government who should be gotten rid of, and identified the 4 persons. One of those 4 persons was the president, and as the caller went off, Mr. Amsterdam issued a disclaimer saying violence should not be allowed, and then after that, down later in the program, he said that there are some politicians we should see to back out. That is the substance of their allegation, in their words. The police prosecutor, Mr. Moore, opposed bail. He said he shouldn't be admitted to bail on the basis of the prevalence of the offense. The magistrate said that didn't accept that invitation. She placed him in $200,000 bail. The prosecution then asked that he lodge his passport. We indicated that there was no contention that he was either a flight risk or that he was likely to interfere with the investigation, to which the magistrate said he can lodge a passport, but he would be permitted to travel. That application should be made to the court at the appropriate time. The matter was then adjourned to early in June in Court 1.
The Guyana Police Force has since indicated that additional charges are expected to be filed against Amsterdam soon. The police force is still to say whether it has been able to trace and make contact with the actual caller who made the alleged threatening statements back in February. The police would only say that its investigations are ongoing.
Rev up your excitement and win the chance of a lifetime with Lucosade Energize Your Drive promotion. Enter to win a fully loaded Toyota CHR or a ton of cash. $500,000 and $250,000 respectively. Just purchase 2 or more Lucosade 360 milliliter at participating outlets. Write your contact details on the back of the receipt and place them in the marked boxes nationwide. It's that simple. And you're on your way to energize your drive with Lucosade. This promotion runs April 12th to June 7th, 2024. Terms and conditions apply.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Well, Dura last year, it was so nice. Me and them girls had real fun. It's the best party I ever went to. As a big one.
Backed by Papa and the Band, Team Extra presents the Band Birthday. June 22nd, 12 one-man bands running live. Stitchy Fight Machine, Murphy Invasion Band, Love Connection, Genesis, Big V, Cali World Band, Aaron the Entertainer, Water Smooth, and many more. Early bird tickets at $2,000 at Just You Size Boutique, White Castle Fisher, Fireside Suites, Extra Beer, Starbucks, compliments of Fireside Suites, Extra Energy Drink, and Extra Beer. The Band's Birthday, Saturday, June 22nd at the National Park. Well, Vice President Barrett Jagdeo today said the Guyana Police Force was slow to investigate alleged threats made against the president and government ministers during a live call-in program online. That program was hosted by political activist and online talk show host Kadaki Amsterdam, who, as we just mentioned, faced charges today. Amsterdam, a Working People's Alliance executive, was arrested earlier this week in connection with a cybercrime after a caller on the program called for the president, the vice president, the attorney general, and the minister with responsibility for finance to be killed. Today he was placed on $200,000 bail. But while speaking at his weekly press conference at Freedom House, the vice president today expressed his dissatisfaction with the manner in which the case was dealt with by the police.
The police have to address these matters seriously, not because it's personal, but because if we allow this violent rhetoric to take hold of our society, then it could lead to unintended consequences. And what he did was illegal and seditious. If you look at what he said, he wants to behead the head of state in Guyana, Irfan Ali too.
It was pointed out that in 2017, the then President David Granger ordered a commission of inquiry into an alleged assassination plot against him.
There was a full-fledged commission of inquiry. A lot of Policemen lost their jobs basically for that. Here you have on TV someone saying, chop off Irfan Ali's head. And you didn't see the paranoia of the PPP government. Imagine if there was real persecution. You would have a commission of inquiry by now. You'd have Kidaki, Amsterdam, and everybody else. Is Amsterdam is his name? Okay. Going in jail for a long, already in jail. So you don't see paranoia in this government. But of course, the law must take its course, and that's what the police they're doing.
The vice president accused Amsterdam and his party, the Working People's Alliance, of being extremists.
The extremism of the WPA and the failed people who are there. So this party has gone a far way from Walter Rodney's vision of Guyana. They are a fringe party, nobody knows about them. They live on past glories on the Walter Rodney era, and what we have are just racists there posing as though they're representing Afro-Guyanese interests.
Amsterdam has pleaded not guilty to the charge. President Irfan Ali today pledged to revive the coffee industry in Region 1, the Marima-Winey region, during a visit to the Warramuri village. But residents there said in addition to agricultural development, they need internet access, better infrastructure, and greater access to public services. Accompanied by his Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, and the Housing Minister, Colin Crowell, the President told the residents of Warramuri and neighboring communities during a community meeting that his government, since taking office in 2020, has invested heavily in the areas of health, education, infrastructure development, and agriculture. Going forward, he said his administration will invest even more in the agriculture sector to revive the coffee industry.
We want to do some major crops here that are high value and will put you back on the regional map. So we want to start, we have already established a nursery, by having a 10,000 plantation, 10,000 plant coffee, Arabica and Liberica. We want to bring back the coffee production in Region 1, and we're investing in 10,000 plants to start back this production in Region 1.
President Ali said the government will also be investing in coconut and breadfruit production.
We want to expand coconut production in this region, and we're going to set aside 20,000 Brazilian nuts, the high quality, high bearing, high value, high yield variety of coconut. We're setting aside 20,000 plants for Region 1, and we want the region to identify the areas so we can have your communities, coffee, coconut. The other thing we want to do here, breadfruit production is an important regional commodity, and we're going to support you by having the market available. So we will come in and buy the breadfruit production.
But the residents of the small indigenous community, while offering praises to the government, said they also need investment in several other areas. Head teacher of the Warramuri Primary School, Colin De La Cruz, made a case for the school to be equipped with internet access.
The internet at Warramuri. If you notice, we struggle a lot for even phone signal here, and we don't get internet at this school. And in this modern age of technology, internet is one of the basic needs, actually becoming the basic need of the education system. So we have to get internet to operate.
He said the lack of internet access in the school is severely hampering the delivery of education in the area. Further, he said while the mission has been excelling in sports, and particular football and other cultural programs, it would appear that there is no real budget for culture, youth and sport in the region. And another resident spoke of the need for improved infrastructure, such as roads in the village.
My first request is a concrete road from Warramuri waterfront, at least maybe up to the Warramuri recreational ground. And this is part of our 10-year plan also, and we will be extremely grateful if this request can be granted. Now, there are some basic reasons why we as a village would like to see this happen, because in instances when they have emergencies, we tend to use the stretcher because vehicles cannot reach down to the landing, only pickups which we do not actually have.
That resident also explained that when goods arrive from charity at the community landing, residents have to resort to manual labor to transport the goods into the community to the respective businesses due to the poor state of the road. Other residents spoke to the need for a housing program in the village as well as better public services, including health services. In response, the president assured the residents that the requisite support will be provided through various communities. A number of ministers are expected to visit the village on Saturday to address the concerns raised at today's meeting.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo, from its pristine rivers to its abundant resources. It's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall in the region. As Mexicans head to the polls on Sunday to elect their next president and thousands of state and local posts, much of the country is suffering historic drought, intense heat, and occasional power blackouts, Reuters said in a report. Water shortages may not be a new phenomenon in the Latin American country, especially in the populous capital Mexico City, but some voters are blaming the ruling Morena party for the crisis, and analysts say it could prove an important factor in the upcoming election, particularly in some closer fought local races. Morena candidate Claudia Sheinbaum is still heavily favored to win the presidency, with some polls giving her a 20-point advantage over the main opposition candidate, a senator with the center-right National Action Party. Whoever wins will have to contend with water shortages, with 30 of 32 Mexican states in drought, according to a May 15 chart from the National Water Commission. Suriname's politician, who is also a member of the ruling party, Joel Martinez, was arrested in Brazil on Wednesday. This was confirmed by the Public Prosecution Service (OM) of Suriname. According to the public prosecutor, Martinez was arrested in Brazil based on a red notice issued by Interpol Suriname. It said the arrest was carried out professionally and effectively by the Interpol unit of the Federal Police of Brazil. Authorities suspect Martinez, the former chairman of the Youth Department of ABOP, of murder, manslaughter, complicity in murder, manslaughter, participation in a criminal organization, violation of the Narcotic Drugs Act, and money laundering. After investigators stumbled upon a plane that was buried in an area near the border with French Guyana, Martinez came into the picture as one of the suspects. It's also believed that a drug gang reportedly killed a man in connection with that case. The body was never found. After authorities ordered an investigation against him, Martinez went into hiding. From his hiding place, he indicated in a statement on Facebook that he's innocent and that his arrest is a witch hunt set up by the ruling party. And finally tonight, international news. The results have been announced from what is seen as South Africa's most closely fought elections since the African National Congress (ANC) came to power 30 years ago, according to the BBC. With results from around 20% voting districts counted so far, the ANC is leading with 44%, followed by the DA with 25%. The radical EFF has about 9%, while the MK party of former President Jacob Zuma is on around 8%. Final results are expected over the weekend. The initial results suggest the ANC will lose its parliamentary majority for the first time since Nelson Mandela led the party to victory following the end of the racist system of apartheid in 1994. The suspected Council for Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR) and the News 24 website have projected that the party's final vote could be around 42%, down from 57% it obtained in the 2019 election. The initial results show that the ANC is suffering heavy losses to MK, especially in areas where Mr. Zuma's party is leading with 43% of the vote to the ANC's 21%. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.